Good morning. Welcome to this incredible and important announcement about our Summer Youth Employment Program for 2017. I know. Do you realize in just the few years since Mayor Baraka has been in office, this program has grown from 1,000 young people being employed to 2,700 this year. How about that? And these numbers are pretty impressive down here too, right? So today we're going to be talking about the Summer Youth Employment Program, and I'd like to bring up first Marsha Armstrong, who is the Summer Youth Employment Program Manager.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marsha Armstrong, and I'm the Program Manager for Newark's Summer Youth Employment Program. I've been in this position for 2 years, and so I've been a firsthand witness to Mayor Baraka's commitment and drive to improve the quality of this program and make it available to triple the number of youth that it traditionally served. I've also led the implementation of systematic changes to the program so that our youth are offered a more robust experience that ties them to asset building, college and career readiness, career pathways, and full and part-time employment and continuous coaching. There's a lot of research that shows that simply providing youth with a summer job dramatically improves safety in cities and also leads to better academic performance in the following school year. But for us, just providing youth with a job is not enough. Under the leadership of Mayor Baraka, Deputy Mayor Rahman Mohammed, and Director Rigo Salas, we at the Newark Youth One Stop are proud of the work we have done this year. Staff has worked diligently to ensure that every youth participant is provided with one-on-one meeting with a job coach to explore their interest. There's a strategic placement of youth in jobs in sectors, stated interest through a new state-of-the-art application and matching online platform. Youth are given a 4-hour workplace readiness training prior to beginning their job at community-based organizations throughout the city. Each summer youth participant builds job tools like resumes and employer recommendations. Youth are encouraged to open bank accounts and are actively trained on utilizing direct deposit, budgeting, setting savings goals, and creating budgets. We are especially excited this year to begin offering the youth the opportunity to enter career pathways of interest with additional training in these sectors. We have cohorts who will work in healthcare, sustainability, and the environment, coding, and early childhood education. We also have partnerships with some employers that are willing to hire our older youth after our 6-week program is completed. Finally, through our partnership with the Newark College Institute and the Newark City of Learning Collaborative, this program is supporting Newark College students returning for the summer and internships. All of this has been made possible through public, private, and community partnerships in the visionary leadership of our great Mayor Baraka. As the person who gets to see the kids, eyes lighten up when they get their first paycheck or they are assigned their first job, I can tell you that this program is worth every penny. It's making a huge difference in the lives of thousands of Newark youth.
Thank you, Marsha. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge some of the people who are so instrumental to this program as well. We have Amina Bey, who is the CEO of the Newark Workforce Development Board. Tom Bacote from Newark Works, Rigo Salas, who is over the program, and I'd like to also bring up now our Deputy Mayor for Employment, Rahman Mohammed.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another exciting Summer Youth Employment. The reason why I brought Director Bay up here because she's my partner in the work that we do, and so anytime I speak, I want to make sure I acknowledge the fact that I could not do any of this stuff if I didn't have a great partner at my side, making sure that we get the work that we need to do to make sure the kids and the residents of the city go to work and get trained for the jobs. I want to acknowledge the work that Mayor Baraka has done. Let's be clear that this is just not his first year that he's had 2,700 kids working. This is the third year in the row that he's had 2,700 kids. 2,700 or more kids working in this program, and whether it's through the philanthropic community or rather through his corporate partner or the work that he's done with us to making sure when he first came into office, his main focus at that time, because he was sworn in July 1st, which was the summertime, was how can I get more kids to work in the summer program. And at that time he came in, he realized that there was a dismal number of kids working summer youth employment. And so he went to the corporate community and the philanthropic community and asked for money, and then probably in some cases begged for money to make sure that kids had an opportunity to work the summer. And so I want to give him the credit for the work that he has done, because he don't often get that. And I want him to know how proud we are for what he's done. This program has evolved over the years, rather it's partnering with the All Stars Project or the 3 colleges, Rutgers University, NJIT, Essex County College. It's evolved through the years. We had, at one point in time, someone else that was in charge of the summer program, but now Marsha Armstrong, she came in as a star and doing wonderful work, working alongside her director, Rigo. And I want to thank them for the work that they've done. We have an exciting program this summer. The kids, the enrichment learning program that she has set up for them this summer is bar none the best I've seen so far. And we're looking forward to working with the kids this summer. The kids actually working this summer and actually learning something. And we're going to make sure these kids have a nice, safe summer and actually learn and get a great experience this summer. Right, Marsha? That's right. Let's get it done. Thanks.
I was so glad when Marcia told me that she was educating them about finances, because when I got my first check, I was like, who is FICA and why are they taking my money? So I'm glad that you are teaching them that. Right, exactly. Still trying to figure it out. We're going to hear from some of our partners now, but I'd like to discuss, or at least talk about all of our partners that we have. Many of them are, or I think all of them are represented here. We have RWJ Barnabas Health, Micheline Davis. Kim Cook from RWJ Barnabas Health. Marilyn Harris, RWJ Barnabas Health. Maria Spina, PSE&G. Whitney Rosenbaum, Bank of America. Maria Montezuma, Santander. Capital One's New Jersey Retail Executive and Marketing President Ed Montes, forgive me if I don't get that right, from Capital One. Deborah Smith from Wells Fargo. And then we have a long list of other funders that I'm sure we'll be discussing later. JP Morgan Chase, Foundation for Newark's Future, Community Foundation of New Jersey, the Victoria Foundation, the Prudential, the Horizon Foundation, the MCJ Amelior Foundation, the City Foundation, like I said, Bank of America, TD Bank, the Maher Charitable Foundation, Capital One, Edison Properties, and Altice. These are just some incredible people who've come together to support our program. So let's give them a round of applause. Now I'd like to bring up 2 of our funders. We have Daria Sheehan, who is the Senior Program Officer from City Foundation. Daria? Okay, thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for that kind introduction and for inviting City to take part in the launch of Newark's Summer Youth Employment Program. You know, I'm a Jersey girl myself, and I remember my very first summer job. I think I was in my junior year of high school, and I worked at a book distribution center in Rutherford, picking books off the shelf for school libraries and getting them ready to be shipped out to the schools over the summer. And I learned so much from that experience. I learned 2 things that have stuck with me today, and one is the importance of accuracy in a job. So for all the young, I see a lot of young people out there. Doing your job accurately is more important than doing it fast. So just tuck that in the back of your mind as you go off to your summer job this year. The other thing that I think I got out of the summer job was, you know, it was the first time I was really treated like an adult and an equal and a colleague. And that was so, you know, I didn't really realize it at the time, but, you know, it really helped build my confidence that I could really aspire to having a job, working in a company, and being able to do it. And that was something that I maybe didn't realize then, but certainly later realized that how important that was. So, on behalf of the more than 3,600 city employees in New Jersey, we're excited to continue to be part of this truly impactful relationship and support the young people of Newark. It's great to be a part of today's conversation and to continue to create pathways to employment and ensure that young people are prepared to compete in the 21st century global economy. At Citi, we believe that cities are where some of the most intractable issues of our time will be solved. The Citi Foundation recently commissioned a global youth survey with a company called Ipsos, and they surveyed 7,000 young people between the ages of 18 and 24 in 45 cities and across 32 countries. It found that most young people, 70% to be exact, are optimistic about their career prospects despite uncertainty and changes around the globe. The survey also found that 78% of these young people believe that internships and apprenticeships are critical to their success. However, they say that there are not enough of these opportunities around. So how do we make sure that young people, the futures of our communities and of this country, are prepared to succeed in the 21st century job market and have a fair shot at the American dream? At Citi, led by the philanthropic efforts of the Citi Foundation, we're doubling down on our commitment to boost the career readiness of youth across the United States and around the world. The Citi Foundation first launched Pathways to Progress in March of 2014 with a 3-year, $50 million commitment to boost career readiness for 100,000 low-income youth across cities in the United States. We successfully fulfilled that commitment in 2016, reaching more than 100,000 young people. But building off this impact, in February of this year, the Citi Foundation announced a new commitment to urban youth with an additional $100 million of philanthropic investment, the largest in our history, to impact the lives of an additional 500,000 youth in cities around the world, including right here in Newark. This new commitment builds upon our lifetime focus on fostering economic and employment opportunities for low-income individuals, families, and communities across the United States and around the world. As part of our commitment and our continued investment in youth, and in collaboration with our partner, the Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund, our support for summer youth employment in Newark will provide an investment of more than $256,000 to support 150 summer jobs and financial empowerment programming for all. We're proud to be the largest corporate supporter of Newark's Summer Youth Employment Program because for many young people, a first job is a first paycheck. And it's an opportunity to gain workforce skills and get a foothold in the financial mainstream that can put young people on the path towards financial security and success. This is an idea that the City of Newark has long put into practice, and we're so pleased that under Mayor Baraka, this program has nearly tripled in size. Thank you for having me here today to celebrate the kickoff of Newark's Summer Youth Employment Program and ensuring that our young people across the City of Newark obtain the employment opportunities, workforce, and financial empowerment skills that will last them throughout their lives and their careers. I hope you all have a great summer. Thank you.
In addition to the incredible support from Citi Foundation, we also have a couple of other important partners, one being the Victoria Foundation. The executive officer, Irene Cooper-Bash, is going to come up and bring remarks, and after her, we'd like to hear from Micheline Davis from RWJ Barnabas Health. Thank you.
Okay, so when a mayor of an urban center says loud and clear that his priority is to make sure that teenagers have access to high-quality employment opportunities in the city during the summer, partners step up. For decades, Victoria Foundation has been funding summer camp programs for thousands of urban kids here in the city of Newark, but not so many slots were available for the older youth. So when Mayor Baraka said that he needed partners in the private sector to triple the number of Newark teens going to work over the summer, we, like many other partners in the room today, stepped up. What we learned in the process is that youth who work over the summer, they have better outcomes than those young people who don't. In addition to better health outcomes and keeping out of trouble, these teens are learning new skills which lead to improved educational outcomes, better school attendance, lower dropout rates, and an increase in lifetime earnings potential. Victoria trustees increased our support from $130,000 last summer to $150,000 this summer because they were impressed with the many enhancements that the Summer Youth Employment Program incorporated. Marcia mentioned some of these, but we now have a very high-quality 4-day workforce readiness training and financial literacy course that all participants participate in. There's a new online application for both the participants and the job sites, and it has an algorithm, so the young person will put down those interests that he or she has, and also where they live, so that this algorithm can really match them to the best placement. There's also the recruitment of college students from Newark who serve as program monitors, and these are young people who are checking in with the high school students on their job sites to make sure everything's going well. There's also the establishment of a new 40-member Newark Youth Employment Consortium, and this is a public-private consortium with folks from the Newark Public Schools, higher education, business, foundations, and community stakeholders. And finally, there is a new tracking and data collection system. This is really important because what we learned from this tracking system helps us to make improvements for the following summer. And one of the outcomes was that the retention, what we know from that data system is that the retention rate for program participants rose from 80% in 2015 to 91% in the summer of 2016. Under Mayor Baraka's leadership, Newark's Summer Youth Employment Program has quickly become a national model of excellence. It has shown other cities the exponential potential of creating true public-private partnerships. Newark's inclusion in the Cities for Financial Empowerment and its designation last summer as a White House Summer Impact Hub are proof that others are noticing what is working well in the city of Newark. I couldn't be more proud to be one of the many partners behind this very important program. Thank you.
RWJ Barnabas Health is incredibly pleased to have an opportunity to partner with this great city on this incredibly important initiative. Good afternoon. My name is Micheline Davis. I'm the Executive Vice President and Chief Corporate Affairs Officer of RWJ Barnabas Health, your state's largest integrated healthcare system. But we are not here in order to talk today about our 7,000 doctors or our 32,000 employees. Instead, we are here to talk about that which gets us up every morning and puts excitement in our step. We are here because of the fact that we have individuals like A. Kim Cook, the Director of Community Services and Volunteer Services. Yes, round of applause for her. At Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, who is taking no less than nearly 70 individuals from this program and others in order to ensure that we are creating pathways to pipeline for the future. You see, healthcare, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but healthcare is a changing diagram. It is an interesting thing right now, what's going on at the federal level, and so I tell you this. Yes, we shall need more doctors and nurses, of course. And so we're looking forward to finding our next neurologist and cardiologist in this summer class, because I know my babies can do it. But we're also looking forward to making certain that we are creating an accessible ladder to those who are going to be the next lobbyist, the next lawyer, the next president, the next CEO. Because if you know what we know, and that is what the White House knows, and what others are now knowing, and that is the fact that in this city, we have incredible vision backed by knowledge and know-how expertise from a team that is second to none. But we have that behind a visionary who understands that the very life breath of this administration are the people in its streets. And so I don't know about the rest of my funders, but I know this, my fellow partners, that we, yes, are excited when a mayor of an urban area decides to step up and say, let us do this for our youth. But we are that much more encouraged when it is a mayor like Mayor Raj J. Baraka. Because what we understand, yes. Because what we understand is that he believes not just in the future, he believes in the now. He understands that our children are eager and able, that they are educable, that they are educated, that they have a desire to turn hope of the future into the reality of today. And so on behalf of RWJ Barnabas Health, on behalf of our wonderful partners who are right there at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, where Darryl Terry is the president and CEO, and on behalf of Barry H. Ostrowski, the president and CEO of the entire system, who, if you know anything about him, you know that he was born in Newark and went to Maple Avenue School. He tells everybody because he wants to make certain that you understand what Newark bursts forth into the future is what is better for everyone. So thank you for giving us an opportunity to stand with you, to partner with you, and to believe in our babies with you. We stand encouraged.
Micheline, I went to church yesterday, but I just heard another sermon. It's Newark? I know, it gets us all excited. Speaking of the future, I'd like to bring up two young people whose names you will be hearing more from. Two participants in our summer program. Jack Fox, who is actually in my office, in the communications office, who is a student at Brandeis, and a brilliant young writer. And then there is Bakir Abdul Sabor. I was getting it right. I was working on it. Another brilliant rising star. They're going to come up and share their remarks on the program and how it's helped them and enriched their lives. Jack, would you like to come up?
Hello, everyone. I can't say how happy I am to be here with all of you today. So I suppose it's convenient that the reason for that happiness, my internship with the city through our esteemed mayor's summer youth employment programs, is why I'm up here speaking with all of you. This program has given so much to me and my peers. In the 3 summers I've worked here at City Hall, I've been given the chance to learn firsthand the leadership and community spirit of our public servants. No one who works here does it for money or for fame. That's not what these jobs are about. They're about serving the people of Newark, putting the spirit of the city ahead of yourself, and trusting in that spirit to do great things. And looking back, I can't think of any internship I might have done that might have better prepared me for a potential hopeful career in public service. This summer, I've primarily worked in communications, writing press releases and smoothing the interface between government, media, and citizens. But I've also seen at least a small part of every aspect of city government. That's finance, public safety, community wellness, recreation, administration, and every department above and in between. And each of them has taught me something, and I can tell you, without the slightest bit of exaggeration, that the lessons each of us leave this program with are permanent and precious. Newark has been my home for my entire life. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and it was an honor to be given a chance to work for this city, a chance to give back. But speaking frankly, I also know that this city is still giving me and my peers more than we can repay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Before I begin, I would like to thank you all for providing me with the opportunity to speak, allowing me to be a representation of North Youth's capabilities, and for your time, dedication, and commitment into this lovely program. My name is Bakir Abdul Sabor, and I'm a junior mechanical engineer at Villanova University. My journey in Newark Summer Youth Employment Program began a little more than a year ago as I joined the Newark Alliance team. And little did I know it would change my life forever. And because of that, I would like to thank their president and CEO, Kimberly McLean. Can you please stand? The opportunities the Alliance provided me with were more than I can ask for, as they helped shape the way I thought about my city. Prior to working my internship at the Alliance, I was unfortunately a resident who was blinded and consumed by the perpetual cycles of violence that are oftentimes exhibited throughout the city. I lost faith. Oftentimes, I was seeking a way out or escaping my hometown instead of immersing myself in Newark's beauty. When I started working at the Alliance, my eyes were truly open. For starters, they made the office a home, treated me with kindness and open arms, and always pushed me to be the best man I could be. Being able to intern there was my first step into realizing the true potential of the city. Coupled with the projects I was responsible for and exposing myself to the economic and developmental project investments the city was involved in. Oh, and how can I forget? Because of the Newark Alliance and the connections I was able to develop, I now have the phenomenal opportunity of currently interning at Panasonic right here in downtown Newark. Ken personally introduced me to Panasonic's team and pushed me to show them that I was ready to intern with them for the summer. It's oftentimes very hard for me to express my gratitude towards the Alliance and the city for the opportunities they provided me with. But I can say this, my access to a unique educational opportunity and the support of my family, now including the city, has allowed me to acquire the tools I need to build my own path in the next chapter of my life. Many individuals dream bigger than they live, both the supporting guidance of an education and opportunities like the ones I've had through the Summer Youth Employment Program, Newark Alliance, and now Panasonic. I hope to one day allow myself and others to live bigger than they dream. Thank you.
So proud of those young people. Can we just give them another round of applause? You all make me so proud. Now we'd like to bring up our esteemed mayor, who has the vision to lead us in this and so many other areas. Thank you.
Good morning. I probably could leave now, and these two young men, they gave the speech that we needed to hear. That was it. I mean, we can walk out of this place, and we know that what we're doing is actually impactful, and that there's some incredible young people in our city. And I just want to start by just thanking at least all of the corporate sponsors, the philanthropic community, everybody that stepped up. As was stated by Irene, everybody who stepped up to the plate and said, let's make this happen. Because it wasn't rocket science for me. I mean, people say, oh, you just had this incredible vision. I'm hearing people say that. But, I was a kid in Speedy in Newark. That's what it was called then. I was a young man in the city, and that's my first job. The first job I ever had was Speedy. We cleaned up a few lots back then, and then after that, I graduated to be a program rep where I gave people jobs. I got to go there and fill out the things and go visit people on their job sites. I actually looked forward to that in the summertime. One, because it was something for me to do. Two, I had money in my pocket. It made me feel like I was, a man. And three, I met some very incredible people, made lifetime friendships with folks that I'm still friends with today. And people who come up to me and say, I was your boss at the such and such. Remember, you used to work there with me, and, all of those things. So it's a very enriching experience. So I thought it was necessary that all kids in Newark, at least as many of them as I could think of, should be a part of this experience. They should have this, that there is some merit behind making sure that kids work in the summertime. That there's actually some research that says when kids work in the summer and you give them opportunity for job or structured employment, that they actually continue that kind of structured employment and job and seek those relationships. That if they are in places where they have well-meaning and thoughtful adults around them in a structured place, that they're less likely to be involved in crime. They're less likely to be involved in trouble. That they're less likely to be involved in things that will lead them down a negative place. And more likely to get involved in something that would enrich themselves, their family, their community at the same time. So we're hoping, as a matter of fact, we're planning that the kids have an incredible experience in the summer, so that experience can lead to something later on in their life, that maybe they work with somebody and somebody say, hey, I want to keep this kid. I want to keep them the year after that and the year after that. Hey, when are you graduating from college? Maybe you can come back and fill out an application at our place. That's what we're looking to do. And we're looking for them to go back to their neighborhoods and their community and be an example, a representative of what should happen. And I want to close based on what Mr. Abdul Sabur said, that I grew up in this city too. And, ultimately, those are the images that we see, because those are the images that people like us to see. images of defeat, of hopelessness, of violence, of things that we have embraced about ourselves, our city, our community, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy for us. We begin believing that this is all that exists, and this is all that we should be able to participate in. And you two gentlemen have proven to all of us today that the diversity in our community of our young people is immense, is mass, is wide, and that people, when they have the idea, when they think of Newark kids, they have this image in their head that leads to people disinvesting in our city, right? And you guys put an image in people's head, and hopefully it goes around and goes viral, that they see as a complete opposite of what the image is that they think Newark is about, right? And we want that image to stick in people's head, because then they'll be more likely to invest in young people in this city who are trying hard and desperately to find a way for themselves, a way for their family, and a way for this city to grow. So I applaud you. I'm proud of you. I thank you for being great representatives for me and for this town where I was born and raised, and where you were born and raised. So good luck this summer, and good luck to all the young people this summer. Have a great experience, and thank you to all the adults that participated in making this happen, and Marcia, who hit it out the park the minute we asked her to get involved in this. I appreciate you, right? But, my number is still 4. We ain't there yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And there are about 5,000 or more young people who've applied for jobs. So this idea that, these folks don't want to do anything is just not true. About 5,000 kids apply. We were able to give jobs to maybe half that number of kids, right? Which is 3 times more than we were actually giving, which means that we weren't meeting the needs of our community in a desperately long time at this wide of a gap, right? So we've closed that gap a little bit, but we want to close it even more, and we can do that with the great support and the help from you guys out here. So thank you.
About this?
Yeah, can you talk about the diversity of the program? You said you have 5,000 applicants. How do the people get hired, and are there any requirements that somebody has to meet?
Marcia.
There are no requirements other than being a Newark resident. Once you provide your Newark residency, you're good to go. The program is able to provide young people jobs based on their interests as well as where they live. So we look at the wards and then we assign students based on that. The system does all the work for us in that regard.
So they don't have to have any education standards or?
No.
Because you have 5,000 applicants, how do you turn people away?
It's a lottery system. So it really looks at first come, first serve. It selects you and then you're good to go.
Mr. Mayor, how much money do you need to fill the rest of the applicants?
It's about $1 million.
Well, I think we like maybe $1 million or more off from doing that, yeah. I mean, the city provides about 1.2 ourselves, from Department of Labor, and, the funders provide the rest of it to get us to the 2,700. So funders actually allowed us to triple that number. From 1,000, we were able to pay about, use that $1 million or something to pay for about 1,000 kids or more, a little bit over that, and then the funders did the rest of the heavy lifting for us, so, yeah.
Question?
Wow, you gonna give us some more money? I hope so.
Any other questions?
Yes.
How is the program, other than growing, how has it been improved since last year?
Oh, wow. I want to say a few things. I'm going to let Marcia talk about it because she's better than me at this. But, I'm excited about it because I think one is a lot more organized than it used to be. We have more training for the young people as they come in. We have training for some of the employers as well. We have kids who are now using the banking and financial system through direct deposit that open up bank accounts where we didn't have that prior to that. As was talked about, it's become a national model. People are beginning to ask us how we are organizing this system. So I will let Marcia speak more in depth about it.
I think the mayor said it all. The only thing I'd like to add, we've been able to create partnerships with new businesses that are coming into the city of Newark, as well as other organizations that were a little bit skeptical prior. They're now stepping up and saying, we want to do this thing.
Last question?
elections?
Yes.
So I can understand. So the money that's raised by the city, that do those companies that employ the youth get that money to fund their salaries? Is that how it's worked, or is it just paying for the program?
Some of it is salary, right, and some of it is technical support. I think the majority of it is salary, though. The salaries for the young people. Majority of it is salary for young people, right? And over a period of the summer, and you know, while the money is incredibly important, and I think is more important than many of us can imagine. I mean, particularly if people are deciding whether they're going to pay their rent or you know, purchase clothes for school when it's back to school time. You allow the kids to do that, you know, and to manage that, it becomes very important on that end. It doesn't seem that important, but it is. But the money is a lot, but a little, right? So it's not so much money that you can actually, like, you know, buy a car with, but it is enough money to help you subsidize some of the things that you need to do in the summertime and at the beginning of the school year to help your parents save some money. But more importantly, the richness of the program is the relationships that you establish because of this, and the opportunity to be in a structured kind of environment. I want to say one last thing about that. I have a leadership class that I do for young people, and one of the young ladies in the leadership class said that her mother you know, made her do the whole process by herself. We were talking about cognitive demand and the importance of what do we make our kids do to demand that they think at a higher level. She said that all she did was tell her what she had to do and where it was, and made her get on the bus by herself, go down there, represent herself, fill out the stuff, talk to the people, do all of the things, and come back, right? And she talked about how important that was for her in her growth, because one, she would have never done that, but it also taught her some other things, some patience, you know, some perseverance, you know, how to deal with individuals, filling out those applications. All of those things helped improve her life, you know, and her skills. So that in and of itself is incredible. They have an interview now, right, that they didn't have before. I never had an interview when I became a speedy worker. They just put me a rake in a bag and pointed me to a vacant lot. But you know, now you have to have an interview, which allows the kids to see the whole entire process from the beginning to the end. Fill out an application, go on an interview, you know, get the training that you need, and then begin to do the work. So it's incredible to me. So thank you, Marsha.